Hey, what is up? It is your teacher Mike here, and in this video we are going to talk about how to start or continue your journey learning English, if you're basic, intermediate, or advanced. When you don't really know how to start, if you don't know where to go, it's impossible for you to actually improve. So on this video we are going to talk about what to study if you're basic, intermediate, or advanced. By the way, if you don't know me, all you gotta do is subscribe to learn more English or lessons on proficiency exams such as CELPIP here in Canada. This YouTube channel is entirely dedicated to teach you English and CELPIP. What is the first and most important thing that you need to learn when you are trying to get an awesome English level? It's your vocabulary. Why is this the most important thing? And why do we need that? Right? We don't need grammar. So if you thought that you needed more grammar, you would be totally wrong. And why is that? Look, I have a 2-year-old daughter. I have a 3-year-old son. Sorry, my daughter is 1-year-old, 1.5. I have a 3-year-old son, and I have a new baby coming soon. Looking at babies learn a language is awesome because you understand exactly how it should work. Do you think my son, who is 3 years old, know any grammar rules? He doesn't know any grammar rules. Yet, my son can tell me exactly what he wants to do, when, where he wants to go. My son can say, I want to go to the park. I'm not kidding. My son is 3 years old and he can say this whole sentence. Daddy, I want to go there. I want to go to the park. My son doesn't know any grammar rules, but he can say sentences. Why? Because he is able to repeat words. That's the most important thing that my son can do now that is important when you are basic. You need to start by listening and repeating words. And you don't need to worry about trying to memorize grammar rules or the reason why something works. You just need to really repeat words. How do you learn words and how do you repeat those words? So the most important thing that you need to understand is that there are 3 levels of vocabulary in your life. In this first level are the words that you understand and you use. If you are a basic student, this first level for you right now is about 200, maybe 300 words or less. You have the second level of words that you need to expand to. And you need to get to about, let's say, 800 to 1,000 words that you actually understand and you know how to use. That's when you get to the intermediate level, which would be the level 2 here for you. And then once you can get to the third level, which is where you get to more than 2,000 words, you're already advanced because now you can use more words. So if you're at the first level and you're a basic student, your focus is expanding this, which I call the circle of vocabulary. If you can expand this circle, the more you can expand it, the better you will speak. And you don't need to know grammar rules. Just like my son. My son doesn't know that there's a rule to speak in the past. He doesn't know that if he says love and then he wants to put the word love in the past, he needs to say loved. My son doesn't know that. Yet, it's crazy, but he uses it correctly. Why? Because he listens to me and he repeats. So your focus now is to receive. You need to listen, read, watch movies and TV shows. They are my favorite. Just as much as you can. That's your focus now at the basic level. Now you get to a point where we may be able to consider that you are an intermediate student. The intermediate student needs to be able to do at least these 3 things minimum. You need to know basically how to speak well in the past, in the present, and in the future. So that means that you need to understand how to use the ed, how to use did. You need to be able how to use irregular verbs. You need to know the rules of do and does. You need to know how to make questions and negative sentences in the present and in the past. And the same thing for the future. You need to learn how to use will. You need to learn how to use going to. If you don't know how to do those things, we cannot say that you are an intermediate student. You also need to have so remember our circle here, right? Our 3 levels of vocabulary. To get to the level 2, we're looking at 1,000, maybe 1,500 words, okay, that you kind of understand and can speak. You also need to learn the structure of something that we call more complex sentences. Okay, what is a complex sentence? It's a sentence that you can create by connecting 2 sentences. So if you can only say, I like beans, then we have a problem. You are not intermediate. I need you to start connecting your sentences. You should be able to say, I like beans because they taste nice, right? I like beans because they taste nice. That's what I would like to be able to hear from an intermediate student. You know, you learn how to use because, you learn how to use which, you learn how to use that, and, or. Those are structures that will connect the sentences for you. It's also in the intermediate level that you start getting better with your reading and your writing. You don't need to be perfect yet, but you're going to get better at your reading and your writing. You're going to pay more attention to spelling of the words. You know, for example, you learn that this word and this word, they are different words, right? This is were, the past of the be, and this is where, which is where were you? Where do you study? Where do you live? Now, when you get to high intermediate, your vocabulary and your grammar and your complex structures, you are going to put those things together to create a better structure of what you want to say. It's where you're going to start organizing your sentences much better to be more accurate on what you want to say. So you say the things that you really want to say, not only what you can say. This is also the moment where people are going to start This was supposed to be an ear, okay? But this is when people start to understand you better. When you go from intermediate to high intermediate, you notice this difference. You notice that now you're talking to people and people are less likely to ask you to repeat what you're saying. It is also here in the high intermediate that you are going to be able to sound better with your pronunciation. Your pronunciation is going to improve and you're going to sound so much better. And this also makes a difference when people listen to you. Because if your pronunciation is bad, then we can go back to this example of were and where. If your pronunciation is bad and then you don't know the difference between those two words, people still don't understand you. But as you get better, you can start saying sentences like this much more clearly, right? Where were you yesterday? So let's talk now about the advanced level. If you are at this level, you are at the top, let's say 5% of people that are learning English, right? Most people cannot get to the advanced. And the reason why they don't get to the advanced, it's not because they don't want to, it's not because they don't need to, it's just because they stop. If you are at the intermediate level and you want to get to the advanced level, the only thing stopping you is you. All you have to do is don't stop. And if you don't stop, guess what happens? You get here, okay? And it feels amazing to be at the advanced. So what does the advanced level do better than everybody else? Basically, it's all about your logic and the abstract ideas. So if you're a basic level student, you are not going to talk about the problems of the economy of your country in English. You are not going to talk about hypothetical situations, you know, that maybe you want this thing to happen and not that thing to happen, because if this thing happened, then that thing would be very bad because of this other reason. And you start thinking more logically and you can do A, so B, so C, and therefore D. And so you create more logical reasoning. You speak much better and quicker, of course. The ability for you to discuss things that are distant to you, maybe things you've never heard about, but you want to give your opinion. That's when you start doing it really well. It's during the advanced level. A good example of that, of course. Let's talk about like a guy that people love or hate. Tell me if you love him or if you hate him in the comments. Elon Musk. Some people love him, some people hate him. The question is, can you justify why do you love him or do you hate him in a good way? Can you say good examples? Can you give good examples? Because at the advanced level, you should make a lot of sense. Your sentences make more sense. So if you read and if you write more, what happens? You improve your logical thought. What does improving your logical thought does to you? It helps you become more intelligent. So you sound more intelligent. And then lastly, of course, guys, we have the native level, which is where I am. The native level will mean that you are absolutely and 100% completely understood. Everybody understands what you're saying at every single time. Even when you make a mistake, you know how to correct it. You also understand everyone completely, which means that when people talk to you, you are not thinking about the words that you're saying anymore. You just understand the words, just like you understand in your own native language. Your pronunciation is amazing. just as good as mine or even better, who knows. And you, most importantly, the last step of the native level is you can be yourself. When you're learning, it's like you have two personalities. You have your personality number one, which is in your native language, and you have the personality number two, which is when you're learning. A lot of people become more shy when they're learning, but as they advance and they get better and they can finally get to the be yourself level because they're fluent and they're native level speakers, they can be themselves, and this unlocks a lot of new opportunities. I would like to give you some ideas of what to do now. Okay, so in this last few minutes, I want to tell you what should you do now to know what your next steps will be. So first of all, I want to give you a recommendation in terms of your routine. Okay, I just want you to do something in English for 30 minutes every day. Read a book, watch a movie, listen to a podcast, listen to my videos, listen to my podcasts. Do anything for 30 minutes every day. If you can do this, you can also read plus listen. So you can read the subtitles, the captions on this type of video here. You can read podcasts and listen to them at the same time. The reason why this is important, it's because it helps with your vocabulary. Now, if you are paying attention to the new things that you are doing for 30 minutes and the new words that you're learning when you're reading and listening, I would like you to take notes of 3 to 5 new words every day. Don't worry too much about not remembering every single word that you have taken a note of. Just take notes. And then very important, use the words. It makes no sense for you to start learning English by speaking. You have to start learning English by learning words, and then you start speaking. If you are able to understand this video that I shared with you, maybe not perfect, of course, but if you're understanding the video, you should probably be able to speak a little bit already. And that's where you should be starting to use these words. But I also need to know your why. Why are you doing this? Why are you trying to improve your English? Is it because of a job? Is it because you're going to immigrate to a new country like I did to Canada? Is it because you just want more money? More money, right? Because speaking better English usually tends to bring better career opportunities. Maybe that's it. Maybe you are just looking to improve your English as a hobby, right? Maybe you want to read more books in their original writing. So why are you doing this? Because having your why will help you not stop when you feel like stopping. Probably one of the most important things that you will do for your English is to not stop when you want to stop. And then lastly, guys, use your English, either online or in real life. I would say that being in a place where more people are learning English, more people are practicing English, is one of the top priorities that you need in your life right now, because this will help you continue when you feel like you don't want to continue. This will give you a method or something to follow, and this will have people around you that help you, even if you're not able to travel, because traveling is expensive and traveling is hard. And maybe you cannot go and move to a new country right away. In any case, you need to be in an environment where people are learning English for this goal. So if that's something that is interesting to you, all I ask is that you subscribe to our channel. And if you happen to want to become my student, there's more information in the description here. Other than that, I really hope you enjoyed this video. I really hope you enjoyed this channel. And if you need help on CELPIP coaching for your immigration here in Canada, I am also super excited to help you. And of course, make more videos about it too. Don't forget to like and to subscribe for the channel so that I can help you even more.